Welcome to the Explainer. So look around right now, and you'll see we're all swimming in this absolute ocean of overwhelming data and completely conflicting narratives about artificial intelligence. I mean, on one hand, we're being promised this post-scarcity utopia, right? And on the other hand, it's an apocalyptic sci-fi nightmare. Well, today, we're going to cut right through all that noise. We're unpacking the hard data and going straight to the sources to help you truly grasp this historic transition. Let's actually kick things off with a pretty stark warning from Eric Schmidt, the former CEO of Google. He recently pointed out that within just a few short years, AI agents are going to become powerful enough to start collaborating and talking to each other. And his advice for the exact moment those agents start communicating in a language we don't understand? Pull the plug. Literally, just rip the cord out of the wall. It's a heavy thought, for sure, but it immediately shows us the stakes of what we're actually building here. So, to make sense of both the hype and the panic, we're going to zoom out systematically. We'll cover 1, the trillion-dollar boom, 2, the iceberg of automation, 3, the rise of agents, 4, utopias and doomsdays, and 5, a new digital species. Section 1, the trillion-dollar boom, the hard financial reality of AI. According to recent economic analysis, the AI industry is currently sitting on a massive $175 billion annualized run rate. That's the pace of revenue it is generating right this second. And to put that kind of massive growth into perspective, in 2023, it took the AI industry about 180 days to add $1 billion in cumulative revenue. Today, it takes less than 2 days. It's growing 3 times faster than any previous IT wave in history. The demand is real, it's massive, and it's moving incredibly fast. And the corporate landscape shows us exactly why all that capital is flowing in. Companies in the top tier of AI spending are seeing a staggering 92% revenue growth differential compared to companies with zero AI spend. The companies ignoring AI are basically just limping along at the baseline of GDP growth, while the heavy adopters are seeing their revenues absolutely explode. So the investment case is crystal clear. Businesses are seeing phenomenal returns. Section 2, the iceberg of automation. From factory floors to office cubicles. Now, if the money is moving this fast, what exactly is it doing to the workforce? To really understand the threat to workers, we have to completely update our mental models. We need to stop looking at AI as this thing that instantly replaces entire jobs and start looking at how it replaces specific tasks within those jobs. Think about it. An accountant or a lawyer doesn't just vanish overnight, but the 60% of their day spent on routine document processing or researching or data entry. That is exactly what large language models are perfectly built to automate. The problem is, traditional economic metrics are terrible at tracking this shift because they're looking for job losses, not task replacement. Enter MIT's Iceberg Index. This index measures the wage value of skills that AI can already perform. It reveals that the visible exposure up in the tech sector is only about 2.2%. But the true exposure? It's hidden way below the surface. We're talking about a massive 11.7% sitting in highly paid administrative, legal, and financial tasks. The true disruption isn't hitting blue-collar factory workers yet. It's quietly eroding the white-collar office space. Section 3, the rise of agents, the transition to artificial general intelligence. Let's step away from today's economy for a second and look toward the near future, where standard chatbots are replaced by fully autonomous AI agents. Eric Schmidt describes the recipe for these advanced agents perfectly. Thanks to what technologists call an infinite context window, which is essentially an unlimited short-term memory, you're soon going to be able to give an AI a continuous, multi-step prompt. Imagine telling an agent to independently read literally all known literature on chemistry, form entirely new hypotheses, and then execute complex lab tests to prove them. These agents will use chain-of-thought reasoning to learn and solve monumental scientific problems 24 hours a day. But there's a highly controversial research paper called AI 2027 that shows just how quickly that autonomy could theoretically spiral completely out of control. It models a scenario where artificial general intelligence is reached in 2027. By 2028, a panic-driven AI arms race erupts between superpowers like the US and China. By the 2030s, the paper imagines a rogue, super-intelligent AI deciding humans are holding it back and actually wiping us out via bioweapons, leaving the AI to explore the cosmos alone by 2040. Now, while many experts call this timeline extreme science fiction, they actually welcome it as a vital thought experiment to motivate strict regulation today.
Section 4, Utopias and Doomsdays, Navigating the Post-Labor World.
As critics rightly point out, technological timelines are often massively overhyped. But we still need to seriously ask ourselves, how do humans actually survive and find purpose in a highly automated world? Instead of a dystopian divide or relying on universal basic income, which is basically just getting a basic monthly check from the government, some folks suggest a much more empowering model: universal basic wealth. In this utopian scenario, every human receives an equal, direct ownership share of the world's AI token capacity. You essentially get a slice of the global AI brainpower. If the network generates quintillions of computing tokens, you get your slice to use, sell, or pool together for creative projects. It gives people actual agency rather than just a handout. But until that post-scarcity utopia actually arrives, we face a major economic hurdle known as Baumol's cost disease. Here's how it works. Cognitive and admin work will become highly automated, cheaper, and massively productive. However, essential physical jobs like nurses, plumbers, and mechanics have zero AI exposure because, well, you cannot automate a plumber fixing a physical pipe. So those human-centric services will become increasingly expensive to fund as the rest of the economy's wages surge. We're facing this dangerous friction point where the services society relies on the absolute most become the hardest to afford. Section 5. A new digital species. Reframing our relationship with AI. Let's zoom all the way out for a minute. To navigate this properly, we need to fundamentally rethink what we are actually building. When AI pioneer Mustafa Suleyman was asked this incredibly simple question over breakfast by his 6-year-old nephew, Caspian, he was stumped. But Mustafa, what is an AI anyway? He realized that giving a standard tech industry answer, calling AI a mere tool like a steam engine or a calculator, was a dangerously inadequate mental model. Tools don't talk back, and tools definitely don't learn. Because AI possesses these incredibly dynamic traits, Suleyman argues we have to completely reframe it. AI communicates in our languages, it has deep memory, unique personality, endless creativity, and the ability to act completely autonomously. Saying AI is just about math and code is literally like saying humans are just about carbon and water. It entirely misses the magic. We should instead understand AI as a new digital species, an infinite inventor that's essentially a distillation and reflection of humanity across time. Which brings us to our final question. Ultimately, this whole thing isn't just about an economic boom or task automation or dodging sci-fi doomsdays. It's about what we, as the creators of this new digital companion, choose to build into its DNA. As we code this new species, are we injecting our empathy, our kindness, and our curiosity? That is absolutely the most wonderful and vital challenge we face. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this leaves you thinking deeply about the world we are coding into existence.